Hello everyone, welcome to coding session. In the previous lecture, I have discussed about the direct type of recursion. There are four type of recursion: direct recursion, indirect recursion, tail recursion, and non-tail recursion. I also discussed with an example what is the difference between the tail recursion and non-tail recursion, and what is the difference between the direct recursion and indirect recursion. And today in my coding session I will discuss, I will implement a code of factorial of a number by using recursion, because I have already explained in the previous lecture. So in this example we will see how to implement factorial of a number, how to find the factorial of a number by using recursion procedure. Okay, so uh, you know the factorial mathematical definition. Factorial of a 5 is n factorial means n into n minus 1. Similarly, the factorial of a 5 is 5 into 5 minus 1, that means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 equal to 1 to 0. So this is a very simple uh, example, factorial example by using recursion. And let's see how to implement this code. And I have already written this code. Let me explain. So this is the program. Write a program in C to find the factorial of a number using recursion. So I have, as I mentioned earlier, that in our explanation, coding explanation, I have just mentioned that we have to take a function. Okay, what is recursion? You already know that. So the process in which a function call itself, it may be directly or it may be indirectly, is called recursion. And the corresponding function is called recursive function, and the corresponding call is called recursive call. And you know that in case of recursion there must be a base condition, or we can say stopping condition or termination condition. Okay, so here I have taken a function. Name of the function is find factorial, and return type of this function is integer. Return type is integer, and it takes one of the argument, that is integer. Okay, so if n equal to 1, that means it will return 1. Factorial of a number n equal to 1, then it will return 1. Else it will return n into find factorial n minus 1. So that means this calling the function find factorial to itself recursively. For example, if I take in the previous example, for example, if I pass 5, okay, so what will happen? First it will check if n equal to 1. No, so this is my actually base condition or termination condition. Else return n into find factorial n minus 1. So in this case 5 into n means 5, and into it will call again find factorial. I am just writing in short f, and it will find minus 1 means it will again call by using 4. Okay, so similarly, so now the value of here is 4, and again it will call n into find factorial n minus 1. So that means it will call, so the final result is 5 into 4, then again it will call f. 4 minus 1 means 3. So f is the function name here, find factorial function. So the same procedure will be continuing. So next step will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. Okay, f2, I am just writing detail. So f2, then 1 f1. So when f equal the argument n equal to 1, it will return simply 1. So I will put this value. So what is the factorial of a 5? Now 2 into 3 6 24 120, right? That is equal to 120. So in this way the function will work. Now here why it is called recursion, because this function again calling itself recursively. Okay, so every time it is calling. Now how it is work in this sense? So first I have to find the factorial of a given number. Okay, so it may be 5, it may be 6, it may be 7. So what number you want, please give the integer number. If I want to more than 9, you know that, so we have to use, instead of integer, we have to use the long integer. Okay, so we can use that. So here, so first line, find the factorial of a number, then it will return the printf value to find the factorial of a number. It will be shown in your computer screen. So when I will execute, you can see that. Okay, so next is input a number. So when they will ask input a number, so that message will be displayed in your computer screen console. Then you will input a number. For example, you have just entered a number. For example, you have entered, for example, 5. Okay, or you can take any number. I am just explaining. So now n1 equal to 5. Okay, then I will call a function find factorial. Okay, find factorial, and this function prototype is already defined after the hash include. You already know that when we declare the function prototype, then we have just mentioned the return type of the function. Here the return type of the function is integer, name of the function, and what kind of argument we are going to pass to this function, that will be put here. Okay, so here 5. Okay, so here when just calling this function, I am just passing the value n1 equal to 5. So that value is taken from the keyboard. Okay, so that value 5 will be, so now n equal to 5, and we already explained right now what is the return type of this value. So it will return 120. Okay, so then f equal to 120. So this function will be called repeatedly and recursively, then I will get the final result 120, because return type of this function is integer. So it will 120. That value will be assigned to this variable f, and here f is a integer variable. Okay, so f is integer variable, n1 is the integer variable, and then it will print the find the factorial of percentile d. So it's the integer type, so we can percentile use the format specifier as a percentile d, and it will the factorial of percentile d, that value will be assigned to my n1. So I will get the factorial of 5 is this second percentile d is associated with the f. So I will get the output to the factorial of 5 is 120. So let me execute. I have already explained all this code in theoretical also. So let me execute right now. Here the program in my desktop, CD desktop, then CD, you already know that ESCS 291, that is the name of the folder, sorry, PROG, then CD recursion, then name of the file. So GCC file name is factorial dot c. Okay, and -o, the new file name left the file name is f2. So let me execute. GCC name of the file dot c minus o, then new file name. So compilation is done. Now let me execute f2. Okay. Input a number. So that message will be displayed, input a number, and this is the printf message, find the factorial of a number. That line is displayed here, and the second one, input a number, that line is displayed here. So let me give any input number, for example 5. So I'll get 120. Let me execute once more with different output so that we can get the different output. For example 7, so that is 5040. Let me execute once more. Let me the value of factorial is 3, so you know that factorial of 3 is 6. Let me execute one more time. 1, you know the factorial is 1. Okay, so it is execute well. So this is the programming example of factorial of a number by using recursion. This example is find the Fibonacci series by using recursion. It is very, very important for your exam, and you know that how to find the Fibonacci series. So initially the first term is 0, the second term is 1. So these two terms are fixed, and if I want to calculate the next term will be calculated by adding the previous two terms. So in this example, in this pictorial representation, the first term is 0, the second term is 1. So next term will be calculated 0 plus 1, so that is 1. Look at this, 0 plus 1, so next term is 1, and the next to next term, that is the fourth term, is 1 plus 1, so that is 2. Okay, and the next term is 1 plus 2, that is 3. Okay, again the next term is 2 plus 3 equal to 5. So this process will be continued again and again. So here we have to remember that whenever we have just want to count the next term, so we just shift it. Okay, the first term, second term, then third term. So we just count, add the previous two term, and every time the previous one of the term is we just get the value by adding the previous two term. Okay, so you can see from the example also, this two term is fixed, and the next term is calculated by adding the previous two terms. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Similarly, this 1 I will get here. Next I will calculate 1 plus 2. So the next term is 3. The next term is 2 plus 3. So that is the next term is 5. Okay, so let's see the coding example so that you can get the idea. You already know that theory. So here in this example, I have taken a function named Fibonacci. Name of the function is Fibonacci. Okay, and this is the prototype of this function, and this is my function declaration. This part is function declaration. Okay, so that is my function. And let me first explain the function, then I will discuss how to call this function. Okay, so this is the name of the function Fibonacci, and it takes two arguments. One of the argument is PR number, means previous number. You can give any name of the previous variable, and the second number is another number, so that is 1. So initially PR number is 0 and num is 1. So this is my first two term. Okay, I will have to calculate the next term. How do I calculate? Next term will be calculated from adding the previous two ones. So 0 plus 1, so that means I will get next term is 1. Next we have to exchange. This is my first term, this is second term. Now the third term is I get by calculating the first two terms. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Understood? So next is, so I can write 0 1 1. Okay, and if I want to calculate, this one is now become the number. Okay, so that means it become the second number. So here num equal to 1, then previous number equal to 1. Now the next number is assigned to num. Okay, then I will print the next number. So I will get 0 1 1. Okay, then I plus plus. Initially I equal to 1, and I plus plus means that when we call this function, that will be calling this function up to, this is my base condition of the recursion. Suppose I want to get the term of 5th term. So when I will be 5, then it will return 0, right? And so I will call the Fibonacci function by recursive call. So it's a recursive call. When you call, what is my PR number? PR number is 1, num is 1. So next time when you call this function, so I will call, instead of 0, it is now changed is 1, and let me remove all those things, then you can clear right now. So this is my, now PR number is 1 and num is 1. Okay, so next term will be calculated 1 plus 1, so that is next term is 2. Similarly, I will exchange all those things. I will get PR number is equal to num. What is my num? Num is 1, PR number is 1, and num is now changed to PR number. So every time you have to change the previous number so that you can calculate the next number. So next time I will pass, this is PR number is 1 and num equal to, now it will 2. So 1 plus 2, I will get the new value 3. Similarly, so next number is 3, so that means num equal to 3, and the previous number will be changed to 2. Okay, so num equal to previous number, so that number is now become previous number, so it will 2. So then again it will just call PR number 2 and num equal to 3. So actually I am getting, and every time I will print the number. So first term is 0, second term is 1, and within this function I am just getting the next term. What is my next term? 1. Then what is my next term? 2. And then what is the next term? 3. So in this way, every time the next term will be updated. Okay, so it will print it. So explicitly we have to print 0 and 1, and then we can print the remaining by using recursive function. Okay, now let's see how do I print all those things. So first, this is my, already I mentioned, this is my prototype of this function, and then we have initially give the two numbers, initial first to fixed number 0 and 1. So previous number is 0 and next number is 1. Okay, and then we just print a message, recursion of Fibonacci series. Okay, so print Fibonacci series, and I will give the input from keyboard. What is the term? For example, I want to 9th term, so that is, it will be calculated in this way. So next is the value will be, for example, if I give the 5th term, so here 5 will be assigned to this term, 5 will be assigned, and then it will print 1, the second value. First value I have not printing, you can print, you just have to give the another printf statement and 0 as a string, just you can repeat the same step. Okay, next, when we call this Fibonacci function, I just call by using 0, so that value will be 0 in first time and second value will be 1. Just 0 is the first term and second term is 1, as I mentioned earlier, I told you. So this is the calling. So this is my function calling. After all the operation has been performed, all printout has been performed, then it will return simply 0. That means it will simply, because this function is going to return integer, so it will simply return the control to here and just give a blank space. you can do or implement the function in different way. You can also total series, if you want to print within this function, you can do that every time you have to call it. Okay, so it's up to you how do you implement. So let me execute this code. Name of the function is Fibonacci. Okay, Fibonacci.c. So let me write GCC Fibonacci and .c minus o is the output file, and fb is my new file. So let me execute. It's compiled, and now let me run. fb is my new file. Okay, yes. So it will print the first line, Fibonacci series, input number of term of service less than equal to 20. So that line is executed. Okay, so that line will give the message to the user. So let me one more thing. Since in this function I want to declare the I equal to 1 every time the I will be incremented, so make the variable static, so that only one time will be initialized, and after that the value will be incremented within this function. You can do it in different way also. So now let me execute once again. So yes, dot fb, input the term of series. So let it is 5. So 1 2 3 4 5. So I have just not used the 0 as a first term here. Otherwise I have to print n minus 1. So that means I have to print 0 1 1 2 3. I have just counted here. So otherwise I have to just do it minus. So actually it is printing the 6th term. Okay, 5 plus 1 6 term, because I have omitted 0. You can do it by using the static printout statement. You just print the instead of 1 you can also write. Let me do it. So you can use like the first term is 0. Okay, make it 0, and the loop will be continue term minus 1. So let me save it. Let me execute one more time. Okay, enter the time, 5th term. Okay, now it is okay. 0 1 1 2 3, right? So it's a simple one. You can do it in different way. So this is the one of the important example, Fibonacci series, and in the previous example I have explained the factorial of a number. That two program is very very important by using recursion. Most of the time you will get in your exam. And the first thing, whenever you want to form a recursion, first you have to remember that the function should call itself. Okay, that means you have to write a function and you implement your function in such a way that function should be called again and again. Then you will get the advantage of recursion, because you know that every problem will be divided into similar type of tasks. That kind of problem will be formed by using recursion. I have already mentioned in theoretical part. So in next example I will also explain some coding example which is very very important. One of the example is GCD of a number. That is very very common example of by using recursion, and you will get a question from recursion. That are the important program. And I also discuss also Ackermann function, so that which is very very important for your exam also. So that coding part is very very important, because you have to ultimately you know the theoretical how to find the factorial of a number. You are already familiar with this one. How to find the GCD of a number, you are also familiar with this one. But how to implement by using C program, by using recursion, that is very very important, because it's a C programming language. So how to use those concept in your programming, that is the remarkable thing that you have to do in your course. So thank you. In next example, I will discuss the GCD and a convert function.